profit going out of sight.
Brothers and sisters, will you stand with me? I stand with you. I stand with you, young people. I stand with you, brothers and sisters, will you stand with me?
In the first 3 weeks of public office, Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, he passed 3 pieces of legislation that gave tax breaks to wealthy corporations to the tune of $140 million. Then he came back and said, we need to have a budget repair bill to fix a deficit of $165,000 and put it on the backs of working families. Do we deserve that?
And right here in Washington State, we have similar legislation that has been introduced not by the Republicans, but by the Democrats. These bills would have gutted our union contracts, and though we opened our contracts and have taken concessions to save the state over $10 million this year, it's not enough. Brothers and sisters, this war on public employees is about all of us. Students, private sector, public sector. We all have to be together to fight back. The real cause of the budget deficit is the recession brought on by the greed and deregulation of Wall Street and the anti-union politicians that have been cutting taxes for corporations and the super rich. And let's not forget about the 2 wars that we're engaged in, draining our resources. We can't continue to elect representatives who take our money and then stab us in the back when we need them.
I'm here because of the people. I'm here because of the fight for labor. And that's important. We obviously there's a war out, and finally we got a chance to speak our mind, and we're doing it.
The billionaires and bankers brought our economy to its knees, and they brought about the resulting budget deficits. They treated our economy as if it were a giant casino, and they bet our industrial base, they bet our education funding, they bet our health care benefits, they bet our jobs, wages, and benefits against the House. They won, and we lost. They stuck us with rising unemployment, rising poverty, rising foreclosures, and the worst distribution of income and wealth since the 1920s. Well, now they have the gall throughout this country and in the federal government. Now we're being told that we're at fault, that public servants, that's right, vote them out, there you go. They're telling us that state employees and public servants, well, their wages, their health care, and their pensions are just too high, too costly. They're telling us that the children, the poor, and the vulnerable use too much health care, too costly. They're telling us that education is just too expensive, and we're going to have to raise tuition by double digits over the next 2 years. What do we say to that?
During this recession, the government has been chipping away at the health safety net while families in Washington are in more need than ever. Those critical programs like Apple Health, for which purposes the basic health plan, are on serious life support, and many programs have already been eliminated altogether. Corporations continue to get special tax breaks while working families struggle. More and more people are just one medical emergency away from the financial catastrophe. I know what happens when people are forced to put off care because they don't have access or can't afford to pay out of pocket. I recently saw a man who needed to have emergency surgery after a traumatic injury. When he woke from surgery, he had his mother both shared with me that he just didn't have any insurance and he'd be having to pay out of pocket. He asked me, please, Don't give me anything more that I need for pain or anything else that wasn't absolutely needed. And even though his doctor recommended that he should stay in the hospital overnight, he said to me, I can't afford that. I don't have any insurance, and I don't have a job that isn't going to pay for a large expense like this. Surgery and a hospital stay? I don't think so.
The unions make the middle class strong, and giving workers a voice in the workplace and in the political process is what we're here for. We're raising awareness about these politically motivated attacks on working people in Wisconsin, in New Jersey, Florida, Ohio, Oklahoma, Arizona, Michigan, New Hampshire, and right here in Washington State. Why is it that public employees, firefighters, police officers, nurses become targets, or the basic health plan in this state faces elimination when corporate tax cheats are bankrupting America? GE reports U.S. profits of $5.2 billion, receives a $3.2 billion refund. Are we going to stand for that? Citigroup has not paid taxes in 4 years, but they're the largest recipient of bailout funds with $476 billion. Are we going to stand for that? Verizon reported pre-tax income of $24.2 billion, yet claims a corporate refund of $1.3 billion. Are we going to stand for that? We cannot continue to provide benefits and tax breaks that go to corporations and billionaires at the expense of firefighters, police officers, nurses, state employees, healthcare workers.
The reason why I'm here is just to support our other sisters and brothers in the labor movement and to represent communities of color, underrepresented individuals in all communities. So the current workforce and the future and potential workforce, make sure that all of us have the same rights and responsibilities. What we have now is protected, and to let the nation know that we're here to go to work. And we didn't create the problems, but we're here to work ourselves out of it. That's why I'm here. It's great to be here with all these other wonderful people.
What we can't do alone, we can do together. My message to you is simple today. What blacks can't do alone, what whites can't do alone, what Hispanics can't do alone, what Asians can't do alone, what Native Americans can't do alone, we can all do together and protect our right to the American dream by protecting our right to decent wages and the right to bargain collectively for the right. We can't do it alone, but we can do it together. Men and women can't do it alone, but men and women can do it together. Urban and rural can't do it alone, but urban and rural can do it together. And even Democrats and Republicans can't do it alone, but Democrats and Republicans can do it together. What we can't do alone, we must do together, because we must win the war for the working class and the poorer class and the underclass to have access to the dream that's for the people, of the people, and by the people. Today we stand together.